Hi, I'm Angela. Thanks for joining me in my free food healthy kitchen. How to cut barrel vegetables. And when we say barrel vegetables, we really just mean round vegetables, vegetables that aren't naturally square. And they pose a little bit more of a challenge typically because we have to square them off in order to get a flat surface and to make them a little bit easier to cut and to get uniform sizes. So I'm going to start with a pepper. And there's different ways that you can go about tackling a pepper. For me, the easiest way that I have found, and the fastest, is to set the pepper down on one side because it will usually sit flat on one of its sides, and pick the side where it feels the most secure. Of course, you know how we're holding our knife properly. Check out that video if you haven't watched it yet on how to set yourself up for cutting. We're using our claw, and I just take off the top of the pepper, just like that. And I do the same thing with the bottom. I just take off the bottom of the pepper. And I put this stuff over here because that's still good. And then I have my trash bowl. And then I'm just gonna make a cut and I'm gonna open the pepper up. So it almost lays flat. And if you want to make it easier, you know, you can cut it into two pieces if that's easier, you know, or you could leave it as one piece, whatever is easier for you. The point is we want somewhat of a flat surface here. And we not only want to remove the core here, which we can see now we can easily do, and see that just pops right out. We also want to remove these white veiny pieces, because these pieces are kind of bitter. And that flesh is, we want that out because that's going to make our pepper less sweet. So we don't want that in there. And look, now we have a pretty flat piece of pepper there. And we go ahead and we do that for the other side as well. And look, see how easy? We just keep our hand flat. And now our two pieces of flat pepper, I'm just going to clean my knife off here with my work towel. And I have just a couple seeds left in there. I'm put them in my trash bowl. Clean my board. Okay, now, if you're going to dice your pepper, and again, remember dice, small dice is 1/4 inch, medium dice is 1/2 inch, large dice is 3/4 inch, super small dice is 1/8 inch, which is Brunoise. To get there, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make sticks, which in the French term for that is bâtonnets, fancy French term. FFT, fancy French term, and you can decide right here how wide you're going to go. Or you're you're going to go 1/4 inch, 1/2, 3/4. It's going to kind of dictate how wide you're going to go. Now, if you wanted to leave them as sticks, you could. These sticks will saute great. They're great in a stir fry. They're also great, you know, for dipping if you were going to leave your pepper raw. But if you want to go further and create the dice, then you can kind of group however many comfortable together you are cutting using your claw, and you're just going to go the other way, making that dice. So you're going from sticks to little squares. And again, it's consistency of size that's most important, and I will say it's also practice, because I'm not going to lie to you, mine are often not perfect. Like if I were in a Tom Colicchio challenge, I don't know that I would always pass, you know, like I might get sent back and be told I had to cut more because, you know, mine were not always perfect. Now, you can see why you take off the top and the bottom of the pepper, because you get perfect sticks here. If you want to go ahead and use the top and bottom of your pepper just because you don't want to waste it, go for it. But that's how you will get perfect little dice sizes so that you have uniform cooking. Now, if you want to cut something like a carrot, it's a little bit different. We're going to go ahead, we're just going to take off the top of it. Now, because a carrot goes from fat to thin, we kind of need to cut it into different chunks, you know, as it goes from the fatter to the thinner. And you're going to square it off because see how it rolls? We got to create a flat surface. and you just kind of square off the sides. And, you know, if you still want to use these or eat them raw, you can do it. Go ahead. And again, this is where you're going to decide how wide do you want these. 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and you're going to make your, what they are called planks. And I'm just going like this, and I'm going to make another plank and another plank. And I have these beautiful batonets here, and I could leave them like this. I could leave my sticks perfectly like this, all uniform and happy. Or I could take it a step further, and if I want to dice, now I'm going to make my little perfect little squares. And now I have about 1/2 inch dice here, or a medium dice. And I would continue to do the rest of my carrot in that way. So that is how you cut a barrel vegetable. You square it off. That's how I do my pepper. That's how I do my carrot. And you can leave them as sticks. They do saute beautifully that way. I love them that way. Or you can blanch them and then saute them. Or you can take it a step further and go for the dice. So again, remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be so hard on yourself. Give it a shot and see how it goes.